Juneyards are an American art pop, indie pop, world beat band that I have been quite fond of for their past few albums. I think Who Kill was pretty good, but then Nicky Knack in 2014 was the one that really grabbed me. I think that was such a great, fun as hell pop album that really ended up being one of my favourites of the year. And honestly, if you've never listened to Nicky Knack by Juneyards, go listen to it because it's such a fun, experimental, wild pop album. And these singles leading up to I Can Creep You, I Can Creep You, I Can Feel You Creep Into My Private Life. And these singles were really good. Look at Your Hands was such a fun track, even though it was quite repetitive. It doesn't really get old for me. Like each time I listen to it, I'm still like ready to dance along to it. It's such a groovy, fun song. ABC 123 is a track that's grown on me quite a lot in context with the album. I do think like that whole like nursery rhyme type thing in music can be a bit like annoying and a bit just like it really irks me for some reason. But I think it works well in this context because it's Juneyards and they just make such a unique sound to their style and make it a lot of fun. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, like, oh, they're such earworms of tracks. Like, they just get stuck in your head. They're so fun to sing along to when they're on. They're just like, they just know how to make that really exciting, eccentric art pop that really sticks with you. You know, it's not like it's just artsy for the sake of being artsy. It ends up being a bit pretentious. It's never like that at all. It's just so much fun. The intro track, Heart Attack, is probably like classic Juneyards at this point. It's more of the artsy sound that they go for, very quirky. The beat goes through different sound changes throughout. It's a really cool sounding song and it really does intro the album in a very good way, and it makes you kind of welcomed in a very familiar way because it's like, you know, they're starting off with what they're so good at doing, and it's really good to kick off the album like that. And the beat on the track too is really good, and then it goes into Coast to Coast, which is a bit more subtle for Juneyards. It's got a kind of like slow-paced beat, but it actually works really well. The way she's like coast to coast, it does work really well, and there's a really catchy refrain like with the right left right left right left. I do like the industrial sounding percussion that plays through the track too. Yeah, it's like a really solid start to the album. We've got 3 great pop tracks to start off the album. And then we get to track 4, which is a little underwhelming to me. It's got this skittery beat. It's called Now As Then. It's a very skittery beat. It sounds pretty cool, very electronic inspired. But there's really not much going on the song, honestly. It's a bit uneventful, like the refrain where Meryl is like, take all the money and run. You know, it plays throughout the track quite a bit. Kind of gets old by the end. I'm not really that into this one. And then track 5, Colonizer. Again, not really into this one. Musically, it's really quite boring, actually. One of their most boring songs that I've heard in quite a while. And the lyrics where she's talking about like being a white woman, you know, it's quite satirical, and she makes some funny observations, but you know, I just this white guilt thing really annoys me. Like, you shouldn't be guilty about the colour of your skin. Like, there's no point where you should ever feel guilty about that, so it just really is a bit dumb to like play on that. If you're a racist, then yeah, you should be guilty. You should be guilty for being a racist, but don't be guilty about the colour of your skin. It's just like so... It doesn't add anything to any conversation. It doesn't improve things. It's just really stupid. It's very like super liberal. It's just like it doesn't bode well in any aspect of life, like ever. Not really sure if I'm feeling Home either. Home comes right after Look at Your Hands. And Home, I don't know if it really works straight after that. It's just a very slow-paced track. You know, there are some effects on Meryl's vocals where she's like, ooh. The instrumental again on this one is just so like, just muddy. Like, it's just like you're just stuck in mud, trotting along, just kind of like waiting for something to go and make it exciting, but it just isn't for me. And the track Hammer has their very like signature world beat sound. There's a lot going on in this track with the instrumental. It does really sound like it took some influence from like African music. It does really work, and I like the refrain on this one where she's like, "He won't get off my back, he won't get off my back." It's quite a hectic song. There's a lot going on with the instrumentals, quite a lot of ideas thrown in here. I think it's kind of fun though. Maybe fun isn't the right word, but it's a cool sounding song. The last couple of tracks are alright, you know, I'm not entirely sure if Free is the best closing track they could have come up with, honestly. Um, it just doesn't really end the album on the greatest of notes. The track before that, Private Life, is pretty decent, but I do like Who Are You. Who Are You is a pretty strong track on the album. You know, Who Are You really does remind me of something like Santigold would have come out with on her like debut album, or even like her last album that came out a few years ago. Like, it does have that very synth sound, but also quite like world beat influence too. It's a cool track. I like the influences that Tune Yards always throw into their albums. If that's one thing you can take away from any album they've got, is that they do have a really wide array of influences, really cool ideas thrown into the mixes. I just think this one has disappointed me slightly. Not that it's a bad album, it is really good. It's just like so many moments just like really weak in the album. Like, there are so many high points, and the high points are so high, but yet you kind of fall into like really like low points. Like, it's like potholes, you know, like there are just a few moments where you kind of like dip into uninteresting territory. It's a shame for me, because this was like one of my most hyped up albums for like the next few months. I thought this one was going to be really amazing, but it's just ended up being pretty good. Yeah, not bad, not bad at all. Just too many low points for me. Not as good as Nicky Knack. But let me know your thoughts on this, because I would probably go with a C+, honestly. Each listen kind of made me realise there were more flaws to some of the songs, which is a shame, but the highest points are really good, like Heart Attack, Coast to Coast, Look at Your Hands, ABC 123, like, they are so good. Like, if you're going to listen to anything from this album, listen to those, because they are friggin' great songs. Let me know your thoughts, subscribe to the channel for more reviews if you haven't subscribed already, and do have a good day. Yes, yeah, that's it. That's all I gotta say. That's it.